I'll just see. And this, as you might imagine, was custom made for me for this home, so I could prepare my food. Yeah.
So this was custom made.
This was custom made. I have some pots and pans in here, and I have utensils in here.
Wow. Perfect.
And yeah, so when I'm going to cook, I have to step up. And look, my thing from Ireland. Here.
Oh, from Ireland.
Yes.
Nice.
It's called the
It's the claddagh.
Yeah, the claddagh. And so I have to use the stool to get into my fridge.
Right.
And then I can get whatever I'm going to make.
Right.
And then I put it out here, and I can prepare everything. And then when I go to wash or cook, I just can stand up here and cook away.
Excellent.
Yes, and then as you notice, there aren't any plates or dishes. And when people come to my house, they'll often be like, "Oh, where's the thing?" I'm like, "Hello, whose house are you in?" Mindfulness.
Peggy O'Neill, it's so wonderful to see you again.
Thank you.
We met each other a few months ago, and I really, really was excited to do this interview today. You are an award-winning motivational speaker. So before we get into everything, I want to know, Peggy O'Neill, I mean, it doesn't get more Irish than that.
No, and I think that's actually what set the whole thing off, is that you asked me my name, and I heard your accent, and I said, well, as a matter of fact, I happen to be Irish.
That's exactly it. Yeah,
yes.
That was it.
Yes.
So what is the Irish background? Tell me all about that.
My great-grandfather immigrated to Cleveland, Ohio, when he was only 19 years old. And now our clan is about 306 strong.
Now that's fascinating. How did you get all this information?
There's a book.
Oh, oh my
Yeah,
God.
I actually have it right here. I was just looking at it. It's called The Red Hand Forever. My cousin's husband, Christopher Ivan, did a lot of research, and
right.
Really, this is really about Hugh M. O'Neill. About him, about his ancestry, his coming to Cleveland, and the life that he had, and the family, and the business that grew out of it.
Right, right.
Yeah, so that's how I learned about it.
Yeah, because there's a lot about it at the moment where people are looking at their ancestry. There's programs about it, and all
people are
these,
getting their blood tested to find out what percentage they are.
They are.
Yes.
So have you been to Ireland?
I actually have, but I'm sorry to say that I only have been there once.
Aww.
I am excited to go back, but I was there in 2013. And, no, actually 2014. I was there in the spring, and I went to take a class, and I did a hike and bike tour of the Ring of Kerry.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the best.
Yeah.
So what was it like in Ireland for you?
I loved Ireland. Well, it was April, so
yeah, perfect.
Everything was green, and the little baby lambs were everywhere, and I got the lamb's wool hat with the little sheep knitted on it.
Yeah. And did you drink Guinness?
I drank Guinness every night, even though I don't even drink.
Every night? Oh, I love
don't
it.
drink. Well, I went to the pub every night to hear music.
Right.
So the thing that was great, I went with this incredible tour guide named David O'Connor, who has Wolfhound Tours,
Right.
if I'm allowed to say that.
Sure.
And he is the most amazing human being, just totally beautiful heart type of person, and Irish through and through. And he customized, you know, the other guys would bike 10 miles and I'd bike 3 miles, and
Right.
the other guys would hike 5 miles and I'd hike 2 miles. And the funniest thing that he said to me, we went to a moss-covered forest for a hike, and I came back and I said, I sat down for a while to have a rest, and no one was around, and I got up to take a pee, and of course some people came by, and he said, I bet they were surprised to see a wee taking a wee.
Perfect. Oh my God.
I'll never forget that.
Oh, that's
so
perfect.
I loved the nature, and we saw so many beautiful streams and hikes and mountains, and the music every single night, and the food every single evening, and it was just wonderful.
Wonderful.
I can't wait to go back.
You are a motivational speaker. Where do you talk? Where do you speak?
Everywhere. Now, our inner size is that part of us that is unseen but all important, like the roots of a tree. We can't see them, but we know the deeper they grow, the bigger the storm it can weather. I speak in elementary schools a lot.
Right.
And I speak in corporations. I speak at women's conferences and teen leadership conferences.
Okay.
Yes.
So the school speaking that you do, that's about bullying, right? Yeah.
Anti-bullying.
Anti-bullying.
Yes, and building self-esteem.
Right.
Because for me, it's together. You can't do one without the other. If you don't have good self-esteem, you're going to bully.
Right.
That's where bullying comes from. And like that, the bigger we are on the inside, the more capable, confident, resilient, and loving we become. And that, trying to sustain as an older person, as an adult, I learned that it was challenging for me to sustain a sense of self-esteem, a sense of I'm okay, a sense of I'm a part of this, when not everyone, when a lot of energy was coming at me with a message that something's wrong with you, you're not okay.
Wow, I mean, it's very hard.
Yeah.
Children can be horrendous to each other.
Yes,
you
they
know,
can
growing
be.
up like that.
Yeah.
And then so what did you? How did you cope with that? What did you?
Well, there
talk
was a
back
whole
to
other
them, or-
chapter in high school that I didn't mention. High
Okay.
school was a whole other chapter. Nobody really told me that the dating situation was going to be different for me. And so I anticipated, I'm going to be going to the dance and to the prom and to the just like everybody else.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And it's not like I didn't have friends. I had friends. I had male friends. I had girlfriends. However, that particular dating situation was not part of my life. One of the great things is my mother did a lot of wonderful things for me, and one of them was that she got me involved in competitive ice skating.
Wow.
Yeah, so I started ice skating when I was 6, and I took to it like water in a duck.
Oh my
And when I was 9, they joined a club so that I could skate every day, and I got a coach that became my surrogate father. He was just the love of my life, Peter Collin. To this day, my head to the floor to him for how much he encouraged me to know that anything I could do with enough hard work, that there were no obstacles for me whatsoever, except between here and here.
I mean, the power that a teacher has
Yes.
over their students, it is extraordinary.
Yes.
That's a perfect example of
So that was an extraordinary gift that both my mother and he gave me. And then during high school, I just sort of, because that other scene wasn't happening for me, I just sort of naturally dove even deeper into my skating. I skated before school, after school, on the weekends. And I had one of my best girlfriends who was 5'10" and gorgeous, Allison Ford, like another love of my life, wonderful person who I'm still close with. She and I just palled around all the time, and I didn't seem to miss it too much, although there was an internal wound that was like, I want to be part of that thrilling thing. Everybody comes in on Monday morning and is all bubbly, and there's effervescence, energy going around, and I wanted to be part of that, and I knew my heart hurt that I had to miss out on that.
Now, can I ask you, are your parents also little people?
Oh, well, that is an excellent question. Most people assume that they are, and they are not.
Right.
So my parents are of average size, and that's the case with about probably 90 or 95% of little people.
Really?
Yes.
That's really interesting.
Yes. So just like they have dwarfed trees and
Yeah.
dwarfed bushes and dwarfed dogs, there's some gene that...
I was going to say, was it something in the genes?
It's in the genes. It's
Yeah.
a genetic... Their blueprint for the bone length shifts.
Right.
And so the person is smaller. The intelligence, lifespan, usually the same. Now, most little people, there's a whole thing I could do about little people.
Well, I mean, I'm fascinated because I think it's really interesting. I'd really like to talk about it, if you wouldn't mind, just a little bit more.
Sure, no.
Your brothers and sisters? Do you have brothers and sisters?
I do. I have a brother who's 8 years older, sister who's 7 years older, and a sister who's 3 years older. My sisters are average size. My brother also is short statured.
The same as yourself?
Same as me.
Gotcha. Wow.
He took a very different path with it.
Okay.
I mean, our lives have been very different.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not going to tell me about that?
I can. Yeah. He's sober now, but for
Okay. Oh, I see what
many
you mean.
years,
Okay.
he used alcohol as a way to find his way through the difficulty. And I was introduced to meditation as a teenager, and I went on the alternative
Different
healing
path.
alternative healing path, meditation, breathing, eating, all of that.
Right, right.
Yes.
And I know you're a fabulously healthy eater, and I brought
and
you
tea.
chocolate biscuits. Let's have some tea.
Let's have some tea. I totally forgot about it. Ooh, this is hot.
Oh, yeah.
Let me put my sleeve here.
Okay. You want to do it? Okay, thank you. Yay. Lovely Irish tea. Irish tea for two Irish ladies. Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, and how about some sugar or milk?
I'm actually going to have no sugar and no milk, so I'm just
great.
going to take it like that. That's
All
beautiful.
right, and please help yourself too.
Thank you very much.
Well,
they look really nice there.
They do. It's almost like.
Well, as they say in Ireland, they don't usually clink teacups, delicate teacups, but as they say in Ireland, sláinte. Sláinte?
Sláinte?
Sláinte, yeah, sláinte. It's usually with a pint of Guinness. Delicious.
A bit of Ireland right in a cup.
A little bit of Ireland in a cup. So were people nice to you over there?
Very.
You didn't have
Very.
any mishaps over there?
Not really.
Hopefully. Good.
No.
I'm glad to
I can't
hear
remember any, so
Good.
if I did, they were
Perfect.
very slight.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. People were really polite to me and very sweet.
Good. I'm glad. I'm very glad about that. Now, so you went down meditative route.
Yes.
And how did you start? You told me you did that when you were a teenager. You started getting into that, and then how did you start making a living out of it?
Oh, I changed careers many times. Figuring out what I sort of wanted to do and my purpose and all of that took a couple decades. 2 books so far.
And a children's book.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Yes. So Little Squarehead is my children's book.
Right.
And it is a big, colorful hardback. I call it a Cadillac book. It's very classy, and it has colorful illustration. And it's about a girl named Rosa who has a square head.
Right.
And Rosa gets teased because she has a square head.
Okay.
And she's in the woods. She likes to go into the woods because nobody gives her a hard time there. And she's there one day and she's crying, saying to herself, "I'll never have any friends." And the stream next to her is magical, and the water speaks to her and says, "Come and look at your reflection." And when she does, she sees a huge diamond in her heart.
Oh, wow.
And she says, "What's that?" And the water speaks to her and says, "That's who you really are. And if you keep seeing yourself in this way, you'll get 3 gifts." So each day she comes, she goes out and she experiences life, and she receives a gift. And the gifts are courage, confidence, and compassion.
Wow. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes, and at the end, she's reminded that she has everything that she needs inside of her own heart. I know, me too.
Sorry, a bit emotional.
It's supposed to be. Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing. Yeah. So, and the story is to let I chose the girl to have a square heart.
Right.
A square head.
A square head.
Because it could be big earlobes, it could be acne, it could be large breasts, it could be shortness, it could be obesity, it could be skinniness, any problem. But when the girl has a square head, everybody can go, "Oh, well, nobody has a square head," so everybody can relate to that person.
Yes.
So, and then also other universal principle is that we all have a diamond in our heart. We all have a beautiful essence. And this is one of the main things that the gifts that's come out of my life challenge as a little person is to know that underneath this outer shell, there is a person of greatness that has qualities of greatness like compassion and courage and love and kindness and power. And that if you can find a way to access that inner self, that you can bring those qualities in your life and have a stellar life. And no matter if you can change everyone has challenges. Some of them, like money and even health, sometimes we can change those challenges. In my situation, I couldn't change my challenge. I had to say, okay, this is never going to change. What can I do that can change? And that was a big big aha moment for me when I recognized that I had a fantasy that one day I was going to wake up as a 5'6", gorgeous, beautiful woman like yourself, and all of my problems would be gone, and that it would be, my batting average would be much better if I actually chose to think about how could I change my attitude, my identity, how I express myself, how I receive, what voices I let go in my head, all of those things that I could change. And once I started putting my attention on changing the things that I could change, my life transformed from being in a downward spiral where I was suicidal in my mid-30s to spiraling up to now where I feel like I'm flying and full of love and joy most of the time. I mean, there's still hard days, but most of the time.
Give me a big hug. Thank you so much for this interview.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much. I'm so honored. I'm so honored. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Each and every one of you can dream big dreams, do incredible things, and be powerful and compassionate leaders. You all can walk tall.